Alright, let's clear this up once and for all because apparently some people in the scaling community either can't read or they're just professional liars with way too much free time. We're talking about Superman Beyond, issue 1 and 2, and specifically about Mandrakk, the so-called downplayed Mandrakk, which is honestly hilarious and stupid to me because the guy isn't just some random mid-tier cosmic baddie. He's literally the corrupted side of the Overvoid. You know, the Overvoid, the single most powerful concept in all of fiction. Yeah, Mandrakk is its shadow, its rotting side, its infection. He's the living corruption of the ultimate source, literally.
What's wrong with your brain?
These people will twist any panel and strip it completely out of context and then parade it around like what they've just done cracked a Da Vinci Code. Spoiler, they haven't. They've just embarrassed themselves again.
They sucked his brains out.
The cosmic armor Superman wasn't harmed by Mandrakk, he was just tested. The cosmic armor always was. And always will be. The personification of the story flaw, the flaw of existence, all things not the Overvoid, was called the story machine. And then the Overvoid literally personifies this as the story machine. So the visage of the cosmic armor is just how the Overvoid saw it, and all Mandrakk did was damage that visage. The ultimate concept of story has not changed at all. In fact, it got even stronger afterwards. So saying things like Mandrakk is just some low tier is unbelievably delusional. So, if you have read the comic book, the Omniscient Book of Limbo, which by the way, this Limbo in this series is the totality zone area for all franchises, not just DC, not just Marvel, not just Archie, but all stories and franchises. This is where the author avatars go to write and script their creations. And also it's where all the retconned and older stories go to be forgotten, not just for DC, but for other comic books too and other franchises. It's supposed to be the story retcon zone for all franchises. And this Omniscient Book of Limbo says Mandrakk is the real god. Now this is the ultimate truth-telling book where all the author avatars reside. It's the ultimate story plot book that tells the truth no matter what because it's unbiased and it's not sentient. It has no reason to lie, okay? It says Mandrakk is the real god, not the presence, not the other sources, not anybody else. Mandrakk, because Mandrakk is the corrupted side of the actual god, the Overvoid. By the way, the cosmic armor was above this and contained it, literally poking it beyond the author avatars. So, listen, Mandrakk is the corrupted value of the Overvoid, which was directly said in the comic book. So when other scalers say and try to downplay Mandrakk, you should not listen to them. Do not upvote them because they're laughing at you behind your backs because you're so gullible. That's the whole point. It's not to educate others, it's to get a rise out of others and get high off the idea that they trick people and they have this power over you. And you fall right to your knees in front of them every time they lie to you. They've been lying about this stuff for years. Mandrakk was the ultimate evil, okay? No other thing was beyond it. By the way, if you think the Great Darkness was beyond Mandrakk from Final Crisis, I would refer you to the comic books, such as Dark Crisis, The Dark Army, or other things like Justice League versus the Legion, where we found out that Great Darkness that completely encapsulated the greater Omniverse, which completely encapsulated the Perpetua multiverse, was fake and made by Vandal Savage's Gold Lantern Ring. And then we found out in the Dark Army, which was a tie-in to Dark Crisis 7's finale, literally the finale that explained everything. We found out in the tie-in issue that came out right before it that none of that is true, and the Perpetua multiverse is a completely separate location from the Orrery of Worlds. Do you understand what I'm saying? The Orrery was placed in bleed space, and then Perpetua's multiverse was outside of that even. So the Perpetua multiverse is not the totality of all of existence. It tells us this right in the comics. So Mandrakk here was the totality of everything before all this happened. And then the Great Darkness encapsulated a fake Greater Omniverse, which encapsulated the fake Perpetua creation. And it was all contained by the fake Great Darkness that Vandal Savage made. And then we found out in the Dark Army that the light wasn't the Overvoid from Incarnate 4's exposition, and that Dr. Multiverse is standing like, oh my goodness, I was completely wrong about all this crap I said in Incarnate 4. Even she agrees that her own statements were wrong, and she finally gets the full picture as she realizes all of the truths. She realizes Dr. Light was given her power to defeat and rinse the Great Darkness by the Orrery of Worlds, which is separate from the Perpetua multiverse. So the Light in Incarnate 4 was never the Overvoid. Everybody lied to you. There were only a handful of people on the entire internet telling you this is bogus. All you have to do is read it. Ever since 2018 and 2020, since these comic books came out, there's only a couple people in the entire world on TikTok that have been telling everybody to read the comics because we're the only ones that actually read the comics and the guidebooks and listened to the authors. Everybody else didn't. They just blindly listened to what was said in the story, and they completely ignored the tie-in issues that debunked all of this as a fake plot by Vandal Savage and Pariah. So it's mind-boggling to me why anybody would say that Mandrakk is some lower tier thing. No, Mandrakk is literally the corrupted aspect of the Overvoid. There's nothing stronger than Mandrakk. He is the ultimate evil. All the other evils stem from him. Every other character stems from him. He is the number one. Everything that's not the Overvoid is the cosmic armor. Okay, the cosmic armor wasn't damaged by Mandrakk. Story was not damaged in that manner. So the context here is all wrong with the visual damage that we see. There is no visuals in this. It's all beyond form and meaning. So when we see Mandrakk hurt the cosmic armor, by the way, it bleeds, okay? Robots don't bleed, but it's supposed to be a visual metaphor for story bleeding, okay? Do you understand that? I know there's a lot of people who don't understand how metaphors work and parallels like that work, but the metaphor there, visually drawing a robot that's bleeding blood, is that the robot was called Story earlier in the comic book and the guidebook, okay? So when you harm Story, it metaphorically bleeds. It metaphorically goes blind and has no control anymore. So when Superman and Ultraman's Story started piloting the cosmic armor, they become blind to all Story and can no longer see what's coming, which was the entire point of ending the final crisis. After the final crisis, there is no way to look in the future of Story ever again. That's how bad Mandrakk harmed Story. It's not that hard to understand. You just have to completely ignore all the wikis and all the power scalers who lied to you since 2009.